sunlight, wind, running rivers, vegetation, uranium, etc. These resources are generally available in raw forms and are therefore known as raw energy resources. Generally, this form of energy cannot be used as such. These are located, explored, extracted, processed, and are converted to a form as required by the consumer. The sum energy spent in making the resource available to a user in a usable form. Second is intermediate resources. These are obtained from primary energy by one or more steps of transformation and are used as vehicles of energy. Third classification based on usability is secondary resources. The form of energy which is finally supplied to a consumer for utilization is known as secondary or usable energy. For example, we have electrical energy, thermal energy, chemical energy. Some forms of energy may be categorized both in intermediate as well as secondary resources. For example, electricity and hydrogen. Now the next classification is based on traditional use. Based on traditional use, it can be categorized as conventional and non-conventional energy resources. Conventional energy resources which are being traditionally used for many decades and were in common use around the oil crisis of 1973 are called conventional energy resources. For example, we have fossil fuels, nuclear and hydro resources. Non-conventional energy resources are considered for large-scale use after the oil crisis of 1973 called non-conventional energy resources. For example, we have solar, wind, biomass, etc. The next classification is based on long-term availability. Based on long-term availability, energy resources can be classified as non-renewable resources and renewable resources. Non-renewable resources which are finite and do not get replenished after their consumption are called non-renewable. For example, we have fossil fuels, uranium, petroleum, coal, etc. Renewable resources which are renewed by nature again and again and their supply is not affected by the rate of their consumption are called renewable. Example, we have solar, wind, biomass, ocean, geothermal, hydro, etc. Next, based on commercial application, commercial energy resources and non-commercial energy resources. The secondary usable energy forms such as electricity, petrol, diesel, gas are essential for commercial activities and are categorized as commercial energy resources. The economy of a country depends on its ability to convert natural raw energy into commercial energy. The energy derived from nature and used directly without passing through a commercial outlet is called a non-commercial resource. For example, we have wood, animal dung, crop residue, etc. Based on origin, based on origin, can be classified as fossil fuels, nuclear, hydro energy, solar energy, wind energy, biomass energy, geothermal, tidal, ocean thermal energy, and ocean wave energy. Now, the consumption trend of primary energy resources are the average percentage consumption trend of various primary energy resources of the world is shown in figure. Through the trend, though the trend differs from country to country, but by looking at this figure, the heavy dependence on fossil fuel stands out clearly. About 86% of the world's energy supply comes mainly from fossil fuels. The share of fossil fuels is more than 90% in India. Now, the importance of renewable energy resources. The importance of concern for the environment due to ever increasing use of fossil fuels and rapid depletion of natural resources have led to the development of alternative sources of energy which are renewable and environment friendly. The following points may be mentioned in the connection. The demand of energy is increasing very rapidly due to rapid industrialization and population growth. And hence the conventional sources of energy will not be sufficient to meet the growing demand. Second, the conventional sources are non-renewable and are bound to finish off one day. So we need to look for the alternatives. Conventional sources also cause pollution, and thereby their use degrades the environment. Large hydro resources affect wildlife and cause deforestation. and pose various social problems also. In addition to supplying energy, fossil fuels are also used extensively as feedstock material for the manufacture of organic chemicals. As reserves deplete, the need for using fossil fuels excessively for such purposes may become greater. Due to these reasons, it has become important to explore and develop non-conventional energy sources to reduce too much dependence on conventional resources. So, the advantages of conventional energy resources are: first one is cost. At present, these are cheaper than non-conventional energy resources. The approximate cost of electrical energy derived from different sources at present is 1.9 per kilowatt hour from gas, 1.65 per kilowatt hour from coal, rupees 3.0 per kilowatt hour from diesel, zero point 0 per kilowatt hour from hydro resource. Second advantage of conventional energy resources are security. As storage is easy and convenient, by storing a certain quantity, the energy availability can be ensured for certain period. Third advantage of conventional energy resources is convenience. These sources are very convenient to use as a technology for their conversion, and their use is universally available. Although we have advantages with the conventional energy resources, but various disadvantages are also there. So various disadvantages are fossil pollutants. Main pollutants are CO2, NOx, particulate matter, and heat. These pollutants degrade the environment, pose health hazards, and cause various other problems. CO2 is mainly responsible for global warming. Coal is also a valuable petrochemical and is used as raw material for chemical, pharmaceutical, and paint industries. From the long-term point of view, it is desirable to conserve coal for future needs. Third, safety of nuclear plants is a controversial subject. You all know. The major problems in nuclear energy are: the waste material generated in nuclear plants has radioactivity quotients of dangerous levels. It remains above the safe limit for a long period of time and thus is a health hazard. Its safe disposal, which is essential to prevent radioactive pollution, is a challenging task. Also, the disposed radioactive waste is required to be guarded for a long period, lest it goes in wrong hands. There is possibility of accidental leakage of radioactive material from reactor, as already happened in Chernobyl, former USSR, in April 1986. Uranium resource, for which the technology presently exists, has a limited availability. Sophisticated technology is required for using nuclear resources. Only few countries possess the technology required to use nuclear energy. Due to these serious disadvantages, Sweden has banned new nuclear plants since 1984 and has planned to dismantle the existing plants in a phased manner. Hydroelectric plants are the cleanest, but large hydro reservoirs cause the following problems. A large land area submerges into water, leading to deforestation, causes ecological disturbance such as earthquakes, affects wildlife, causes dislocation of a large population and their rehabilitation. Now, due to all these, we need to look for the alternative and we need to look on the merits and demerits of non-conventional energy resources. If I will talk about the merits of non-conventional energy sources, the merits of non-conventional energy sources are these are available in nature free of cost. They do not produce any pollution. That's why they are environment friendly. They are inexhaustible and they have a low gestation period. But simultaneously, they have some demerits also. They are available in dilute form from these resources. Though available freely in nature, cost of harnessing energy from non-conventional sources is generally high. Also, availability uncertain. The energy flow depends on various natural phenomena beyond human control, and there are also difficulty in transporting such forms of energy. So that's all for the today.